I'm going to speak on certain things, and wherever they fall, let them fall. And if it offends anyone, I truly apologize ahead of time that I will not be able to apologize for offending you via Yahweh's works. Everything that I am going to say comes from the Bible. You can take that issue up with Yahweh if you feel offended when the time comes. Well, let me start by saying that Yahweh's children must not be afraid of speaking up or speaking the truth. If the alarm has to sound, then let it be so, and let it sound really loud. Yahweh's will must come before our own, regardless of what others say or think. We must stand firmly with our Father, point blank, period, end of story. John 9:31. It tells us that Yahweh hears the prayers of his people. Let me repeat that again. His people. This means if you're not doing his will, as the passage says, how can you be of him? You can also find a reference on 1 Peter 3:12 about this. And the reason I'm saying this is because a lot of people pray and, they say, I pray for this, I pray for that. Most of them pray for material things like money and cars, etc. Obviously, they haven't read Matthew 6:8, where it says that Yahweh knows what you need even before you know you're going to need it. So all that prayer for all these material things are just going to hit the ceiling and they're just going to fall right back at you. He's not even receiving them. Another thing that a lot of people do is they pray for their enemies to fall off the cliff, or they pray, like I said, they pray for money, they pray to hit the lottery. Like, prayers are not supposed to be meant for that. Prayers are meant to be for worship, most of all, to thank him for his will to be done on earth, like in heaven, like it says in the Bible, and, for healing, to talk to him, but not for, because you got into an argument with somebody, now you want Yahweh to take care of it. This is not Jerry Springer. He is not a mediator for that. That's not what it's supposed to be. That's not what it's meant for. And it's like you're abusing that privilege. But it really wouldn't even matter, like I said, because it hits the ceiling, comes right back down. If you're not doing his will, he is not listening to you at all. It says it. He said it. He said it a couple of times. And that leads us to this socially correct mindset we were taught since we were young. That has to be done and over with. There is nothing, absolutely nothing correct about the society. And if you fit into it, definitely doing something wrong. That being said, I kind of suggest you should take into consideration Lamentations 3, verse 40 to 44, and really meditate on that for a little bit. This world has taken Yahweh away from our lives, and we have let them through ignorance or willingly. The main point is, if you're not following him, if you're not following his will, if you're not doing his will, if you're not even trying, attempting to do it, everything else that you do is meaningless. There's nothing, it's a waste of your time, and you're wasting his time, because he already said what he has to say. There's nothing that you can, negotiate with him. There's nothing. And trust me, I know that firsthand. But yeah, he's been removed out of our culture, out of our daily tasks. He's been removed out of our thoughts, out of our hearts, even out of the instruction in the lives of our children. We don't teach our children about Yahweh. We don't teach them anything that has to do with him. We teach them about, Barney, your ABCs, your 1, 2, 3s. And all that is good. They need that knowledge. They need it. But we miss the most important part, which is Yahweh. And it's clear what's happening with our kids and us at this moment, because all you have to do is read Hosea 4:6, and it tells you everything right there about what's happening right now with that, because we have forgotten. And then the thing is that they start replacing and giving us things to fill that void that is not there anymore. And then the lowest part from all of that is that they start, filling that position with self-indulgence. Everything's about us. We surround ourselves with foreign gods and their celebrations. We make idols of ourselves and others. Humans are not worshiping themselves. They're worshiping other humans. You know, they have posters of all these singers and actors, and, you know, not that you're supposed to have an image of Yahweh, but you're not supposed to have an image, period. But that's another video, another subject. And now we have, you know, these foreign gods. We have all these spiritual malignant things like sexuality, materialism, immorality. All that is coming into play. Our family structure has collapsed. The wrong is not right. The right is not wrong. They celebrate immorality. They stand against Yahweh. And still, seeing all of this, we still follow this world. I mean, there's something wrong. But, like, you can't get away from it. Like, you know, you're so brainwashed. It's hard to get away from it. It's hard. But, yeah, you know, Yahweh's calling out. He's calling out to his children to return to him. He's sending signs. He's sending warnings every day, at every form possible, in every possible way. Trust me, every possible way. I see it every day. And yet, not a lot of people pay attention, and not a lot of people are seeing this. And we've made it so that our Father, Yahweh, has become a stranger to us. We don't know anything about him. We grow up not knowing, and then our kids grow up not knowing. It's going like that for generations to generations, you know, and the time is coming to an end. It's coming short. It's cutting very short. And this is your wake-up call. This is your revival call. So, hope you listen to it. Saying being that Yahweh is so precise that he reveals the enemy's intention before they even strike. He is alive. He changes not. He is not a respecter of persons, like it says in Acts 10:34-35. He doesn't care who you are, what you are, where you are. If you're president, you have $100 million, $1 trillion. He doesn't care if you're Jay-Z. It doesn't matter to him. None of that matters to him. It matters to everybody else that follows the world. None of that is important to him. You know, this world will pass away. All your friends, your family, your hard work, your money, your material things, even your very life is irrelevant when it comes to his judgment. He's not going to care, you know. And his judgment's going to come down like the rain that fell in the days of Noah. It's just going to be so much agony for so many people because they turned their face away from him. His own people are turning their face away from him. And he's calling, and not a lot of people are listening. And I pray that a lot of people get awakened. I really hope that happens. I have not seen that happening. You know, we have this seesaw effect where, you know, one minute you're trying to do everything that Yahweh tells you to do, and then the next minute you're like, who? Yahweh who? You know? So anyways, I'm going to end this with what it says in Chronicles, 2 Chronicles 7:14. And it says, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven and I will forgive their sins and will heal their land. Notice, Yahweh says, my people, not everyone, who are called by my name. That's why I say all his children need to start getting together. They need to start spreading the word. They need to start calling out his name. They need to start heading back home. They need to hear his voice. And I know his voice is heard. Like, you can't miss it. Like, I don't understand how people do not hear it. You cannot miss it. How can you be so blind and then not notice that you need glasses? Like, you're just walking into fog. You're walking into fog and tripping over stuff and falling over stuff and getting hurt. And it seems that it's okay. But anyways. So there's other videos that are going to come out soon, Yah willing, with the collaboration of some brothers and sisters in Yah. And one of them is going to be about the 9 Harenbergs, which is regarding Isaiah 9:10 and showing how history is repeating itself and the signs that Yahweh gave back then that are appearing right now in America. Also about the 29th day of Elul and the 7-year sign of judgment, which, by the way, has already hit America 2 straight 7-year cycles from September 2001. And the second 7-year cycle was in September 2008. And the amazing thing about this is that Yahweh is so precise, like I said before, that at the exact time and date that he states in his word, this has hit America. And we're going to go into what that means for America, what that means for the people in America, and for Yahweh's people, which are still there and are not hearing his voice telling them that the time is coming soon. So Yah willing, we'll have all of that for you. And stay tuned. I'm trying to get this website, YHWH.com, up and running soon. And hope you enjoyed this. Leave a comment. If you have a question, also leave a comment. So praise Yahweh. Shalom.